Imagine you try to get an Uber and your app is not working. Then you want to get Uber Eats and you can't use that either. You're trying to use your credit card and it's telling you that it's not working. And suddenly you realize that you have been a victim of the social credit scoring. And this is not something you just need to imagine because it actually has happened to a friend of mine, Senum. In fact, I covered this story several months ago, and it's so compelling that I want to bring it to you again as a top hit. Now, I need to warn you that I had a different microphone when I recorded this video, so you will need to turn up the speakers. And I promise you that when you turn them up full volume, you'll be able to hear me just fine. So without further ado, please enjoy this top hit all about social credit scoring and how to push back against it.